Coach Steve Djurickovic. Steve, talk us through it. Down by 11, you have Brooks scoreless. It was looking kind of bleak, but my goodness, the resolve your team had, it was fun to watch.
Couldn't be prouder of this group today.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we won this one the last couple of years too, and they believed. We put ourselves in some interesting holes, I guess, in the last few conference games too, and had to work our way out of it. So proud of the guys for battling through to the end. You said it, Riley's not shot the ball. He's in a little bit of a cold streak right now, but he was the first one in the locker room that said afterwards, hey, a lot of teams I've been on may have caved in that situation down 11. We stuck together, followed through with the game plan, and one of our two keys on the board before the game for Milliken was consistency in the defensive end of the floor. And they don't shoot the ball particularly well, but they're efficient, they're experienced, and they have some really talented players on that end that can make some tough shots. So I thought our guys worked them the entire time, and at the end of the day, we're happy to walk out of here with the win.
So talk about some of that. I mean, you guys took 33 pointers, and I don't know how on average how many you guys take, but it felt like a heavy amount of threes that for a while they weren't going in, and it felt like there's about a stretch where it's like it felt like there's 12 misses in a row. Not sure what that was, but what do you tell your guys when the shooting's a little cold? I mean, are you saying just keep firing it up, or do you say like, hey, let's look to find some different ways to score here?
That goes to the second key on the board, which was shoot the ball with confidence. So I think we had that confidence. The ball just didn't find the bottom of the net today. And we have some really talented shooters and guys that we trust making those plays late in games, and that's our style. We're going to space you out. We're going to try to attack you off the bounce. They really changed their style by chasing Griffin with the 5-man. And it kind of makes a little bit of an adjustment period for us to try to get into it and say, oh, we're not used to this. And it took us a little bit to get our feet wet, but then when we did, I thought we got more comfortable as the game went on. But that's how Milliken plays. They're very, very correct. They're very, very safe on the defensive end of the floor. They're in gaps all the time, where we told them for the last couple of days, like, you can't over-penetrate against this team because they're sitting there. You got to find the next guy in line and be ready to shoot the ball with confidence. So I sure hope a lot of guys are in the gym tomorrow, getting on the shooting gun, coming back in before practice on Monday. And it would make, I think I told them in the locker room, your life would be much easier. You weren't 7-29 and 7 for 30 from 3 and winning these games too. So.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, and it's like a guy like Griffin Dawn, I mean, yeah, he chipped in 11 points, but, some of the other things don't really show up on the stat sheet. And, like, to me, it seemed like he was just, when there was a key defensive stop that needed to be made, unlike guys, like you talked about guys like such Lane Tolman, I mean, he had a, tough shooting night, and it just felt like if Milliken missed a shot, Griffin Dawn wasn't far away from it.
He's your ultimate utility guy who does all the little things. All championship level teams, all winning teams have a guy like Griffin Dawn, and that's the reason why. Sometimes the unsung hero, some people are going to look up and say, man, the Johnson brothers again combined for 40 or whatever it would be. Griffin does all the little things to help this team win, and he's improved so much this year. He's taken it upon himself to say, I'm going to guard the best player. I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3, 4. He'd want to play 5. I don't know if we're there yet. But he does everything you ask him. I mean, I think the ultimate compliment to him would be he reminds me a lot of Brad Cruz, one of our players on a conference championship team about 6-8 years ago, who did those things. And when you get that compliment, it's hard to say that about many people, but he's got some similar attributes to Brad. 6'4", long arms, good timing, and just does all the dirty things to help you win basketball games.
Looking ahead now, North Central this Wednesday and a week from today, Wheaton College. North Central at home, Wheaton away. You don't want to look too far ahead. What's the next few days going to look like getting ready for North Central?
Get back to the rest of the CCIW grind of what it is. Every team in this league is so competitive, top to bottom, and there's no free ones. Now we say that I can say this for the next 6 times I come up here with you guys, but there are no free runs for the next 6 weeks of this season. Every Wednesday, Saturday, you need to come ready to, compete. And I thought we'd done that the last 2 days. I thought we were a little flat coming out of North Park. Just first game after break, I didn't like our attention to detail. Last 2, we've been awesome in practice. We've been really laser focused that way too. So we need 2 good days again to get ready Monday, Tuesday for a North Central team that's got some seniors that have been around, like Milliken, been around a long time, like JT Welch and Bond and those guys here. And Ethan Helwig's back, and he's a really talented player. Terrence Moncrief is a first-team all-conference point guard. So we got to come to work and be ready, and I think the defensive end of the floor is going to really set the tone for us, getting stops, getting out to transition.
Sounds good. Well, Coach, get some rest, and we'll see you this upcoming Wednesday, 7 o'clock tip-off.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Coach. Again, that was head coach Steve Djurickovic. 64-55 your score. Eric, final thoughts for what we saw was a huge come-from-behind victory, and even Coach leaned into the thought that, yeah, you know what, this may not have happened in years past.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. At that point is what I kind of took away, and just the the almost calmness of the team. It's like, because sometimes you get down 11, you start forcing things, more mistakes happen, but it's almost like when they got down 11, that's kind of when they said, all right, let's go. All right, we've put ourselves in this hole now. Let's get some good basketball out of here, and some timely shots, and really just lockdown defense from guys like Griffin Dawn, and that's what led that comeback. And once they got ahead, they were able to really push forward and exert, kind of squeeze the life out of the game with their free throw shooting.
Also want to give a shout out. We don't talk about it too much here on the broadcast. Maybe we should a little bit more. But assistant coaches Tyler Pierce and DeAndre Evans, there's no success without the success of your assistant coaches, and really seeing, and I wanted to bring that up because right now they're out, they're talking to the players, they're talking to the families, and again, the impact they have as well is, kind of the unsung heroes to who helped this team be ready. We're, all but 10 of your points are 3 players that may not normally be the players that do that, but did so today.
Yeah, and just, I think even in some of those guys that didn't get on the scoring sheet so much, like guys like Riley Brooks, they still played collective team defense. And, guys, if you're missing a bunch of shots, it's pretty easy to kind of come on the other end and be like,